So I had the pleasure of playing with the New York Chill Harmonic last week, which means I got to hang out with my old friends Adam Neely and Josh Bailey. It was really nice to hang out and play a couple sets with them, and later on we also got to talking, and that's what I wanted to share with you today. We cover stuff like sound check, what it's like to travel with a big band, what it's like to travel just 3 members of that big band and then meet everyone else the day of the gig. Speaking of sound check, there was a minor nightmare scenario specific to modeler or profile users. Basically, I was going direct into the house, I turned on the monitor, speaker blew. As you know, the monitor is my amp, so I had no amp basically. That's one of those moments where I'm like, oh no, what do I do? But thankfully they had a backline amp, which was a deluxe, which was great because that's basically what I was using in my preset anyway. So I ended up bypassing the cab and amp modeling in the unit as well as the blocks in the preset, plugged straight into the amp, sounded great. A little stressful while rehearsing and sound checking a 45-minute set in a 45-minute window, but we did it, sounded awesome, and we had a great show. In any case, here's Adam and me, and then later on Adam, Josh, and me. Hope you enjoy.
We were doing the New York Chill Harmonic gig in Eindhoven several days ago. How'd that go? First of all, I mean, this is the first time that you've played Sarah's music.
Played Sarah's music and met Sarah in person. We did a Twitch stream with her.
Right.
And then just through the internet, I'm like, oh, hey. And then I realized I've never met this person in real life. That's always a fun moment when you get to know someone casually through their postings for 2 years.
Yeah. And like have had conversations with them via DM. That was like first time I've met the sexy bearded Dutchman himself, Paul Davids. I was like, I've seen so many of your videos. I've talked to you so much, and yet this is you in real life. When you're playing the music, what were some of the challenges of playing her stuff? Because it's pretty particular in terms of like the guitar playing and everything.
That was the best part. Part because it's been much easier songs for a very, very long time, and it's really nice to like, you know, have to use more thinky parts. You know, like Nightshade
guitar. Yeah.
Immediately, Nightshade was the first one I learned, and it was like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and I was like, oh, good, already I'm counting. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even do anything during that. There's a rest, but I'm just like in terms of keeping track of everything like that.
I have to count for an extended period of time. I have to engage. I can't check out right now. When I check out, things go bad.
Yeah.
Especially as a bass player. There was a moment actually on the first of the 2 gigs where I was like, I played a measure of 4/4 when I should have played a measure of 3/4. And Josh Bailey, God bless him, saved me.
Yeah, Josh was just wiping the floor. Like, he was just like, all right, that's a mistake. No one heard it. That's a mistake. No one heard it. Let me just cover that up with a fill. It's okay.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, okay.
Attention's on Josh now. Okay, thank you. Last time we toured, it was Amit, great guitar player, and then normally it's Shub, who's the current guitar player. This is the first time where it's just me and Josh touring. So it was interesting because, like, your friend, buddy, and we could, like, talk and, like, get everything ahead of time. But also, you'd never played this music. And also, Philip, the pianist, had never played this music either. And also 18 other musicians hadn't played this music either. But the music's so rhythm section focused. Like there's shred guitar parts that are not even the lead part. It's like you're just shredding as a background texture, which is amazing.
I love that.
Yeah,
that was a really nice thing. I was like, oh, I get to feel like a string sections job or something like that.
And there's a lot of things which are doubled in the string section, like that section in Mean, where it's like and the strings are going and I'm like,
it's not that. It's Zephyr when it's just and you hear the strings match you, and then the strings don't match you, and then the keys match you, and then they we move, you know, moving parts, everything like that. That's like obviously a treat. It's wonderful to play in a band with bass drums, 2 guitars, whatever, but it's also really wonderful to have all this like extra fancy. It's very much like going to see the movie when they do the live sound in front of you. They do the soundtrack with the full orchestra in front of you. You're like, oh, this is an extra treat. Like
that's like playing in this band, which is funny.
This is the exact opposite of having backing tracks.
This is more opposite of backing tracks.
There was so much room for backing tracks that wasn't taken, and so you just got the real thing.
Yeah, my favorite thing is it's weird because as a bass player in this band, I lock in more with the horn, like the trumpet section actually, weirdly, than the guitar player, because I feel like what you're doing is a lot of key focused stuff, a lot of string section focused stuff, and then a lot of lead stuff. But then a lot of the rhythmic elements are based are kind of like the bass end, especially the sousaphone or the tuba player.
Sure.
Are like honking away, like bum daka 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 daka. Dynamics are a big thing in that large ensemble stuff too, which we didn't get much of a chance to work on. But these like Netherlander, is that the right Netherlander? Nederlander. The people from the Netherlands. There we go. Hey, they were very, very, very conscious of the dynamics, which was super cool. And it's also the way that she writes. She'll have like there'll be like big instrumental rock out section, sing for 16 bars. Big instrumental rock out section, sing for 16 bars. So there's like this natural like cadence to it.
They're built in case no one plays dynamically. It's still built in.
Yeah.
If everyone plays dynamically, then it's even just better.
Yeah, of course.
And I was on the string section side, and they sounded gorgeous. How do you have to end up leading everybody? Because you basically have to clue everyone in.
Yeah. Well, it's mainly me doing it. It's not me mainly doing it. It's mainly Josh. Part of it is just, we played this music for two or 3 years now, and it changes very subtly. And so like sometimes the parts are not like 100% what they are on the recordings, and there's always a little bit of confusion there. It depends also on the people that we're playing with, and if they've played the music before, they're fine. The thing with a big band, the thing with any large ensemble, is it's not really the person conducting it or running it or the person in front who is the conductor. It's always the drummer who is actually the conductor, because everybody is kind of at the behest of the conductor's time and what the conductor sets up in terms of where the beginnings of sections are, etc. And so Josh basically does a lot of band leading from the back, and that's what like a lot of big band drummers do. But you don't really notice that because it's somebody waving their arms up in front going like that or whatever. And then in terms of like leading the rehearsal, it's just knowing when we've spent too much time on a certain thing and need to move on. We had 45 minutes to rehearse a 45-minute set. 45
minutes to rehearse and sound check a 45-minute set.
Yeah, impossible. So there was a couple songs that we didn't rehearse at all. But then that's comes from experience. You know what you need to spend time on. And there's nothing for me personally that makes me more frustrated than spending too much time on something that does not need to be spent on. Fortunately, that didn't happen at all. And fixing the guitar situation was absolutely needed to be fixed. And we were able to keep the ball rolling for all of that. But
and even if you're experienced, you still have a mild panic attack just inside, though.
Yeah.
You're just sweating, but you're like, it's like if everything's going fine, it's like. And if everything's not going fine, it's like, but there's like a beat of sweat.
Yeah. Stressful sound checks are when I notice for myself that I get visibly actually more irritated more than any other time. It truly, and it almost always has to do with sound. And this is a conversation we've been having a lot. The sound person controls everything for how the musician's experience is on stage. And if you have a great sound person, it is incredible. If you have a bad sound person, it's like, this is an experience we need to get through. Rather than, I'm now performing, I'm now expressing myself. It's like, I can't wait until the end of the last song where I can get off the stage. Oh my gosh. And you learn to like live with that at a certain point. It's gone beyond that now, because it now controls how you are viewed on social media. Because if a bad sound person mixes bad sound, people are going to start tagging you on social media posts, and now that's going to be their impression of how the band sounds in like the broader context of the entire world. So it's gotten to the point now where I'm getting very, very frustrated with bad sound, not necessarily because somebody is bad at their job or because like they don't know what they're doing. They might not know the full it's an 18-piece big band or something like that.
Yeah, it's tough.
This is no slight like on the festival or any time here. Like this is something that has been happening on Sungazer's tours, on a lot of other times. But like, it's very frustrating not having as much control over something that then immediately how you're seen by the world. Josh.
Yes.
What's it like to be the self-described MD for every time you travel with the band?
Self-described?
Self-described.
That's not self-described. De facto.
Yeah.
Ipso facto.
Oh, wow. This is
Veni
actually-
vidi vici. What are some other Latin
Beady
words?
beady bong bong?
How do you do it? How do you do it without vibing someone? How do you go up to someone being like, that not correct, but let's do it together. Let's get there together.
Yeah. It's the compliment sandwich where you're like, nice thing, actual thing you intend to say, which might offend their feelings, followed by a nice thing.
Where
Break.
is yeah man the first or the last thing?
Last thing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
man.
So, dude, loving that sound. So that intro though, it goes like this. Plays it, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
So the language I've used is I was thinking this for the intro, which means that it seems like that they were, even if it's wrong, it means this is what my vision is as band leader. And then if they don't do it after that, I was like, I was thinking this rhythm. And like, or if you want to be much more direct, you can say the rhythm is blah, blah, blah. And if things aren't tight, you can just say, let's run that again. Let's run that at half tempo. Let's do this. So that all of the negative is self, meaning they're putting all that pressure on themselves.
Right.
And trust me, you will put a lot of pressure on yourself in rehearsals, especially if somebody's like, can I just hear a guitar?
Oh my God, that's the worst thing.
Yeah. And it's one of the, it's like a positive and negative reinforcement, but as long as you're never saying anything negative to anybody in a rehearsal and you are able to like always let the negative thoughts kind of just be on them, they can react to it or not, and just be very neutral and like, let's do that. All right, sounding good, move on. You use the words drive the bus, drive the train. Like, I feel like the drummer's job is bus driver. It's like you load up all the string section and the horn section in the back, and they're always going to be dragging a little bit behind. And sometimes they forget to get off at their stop. But if you know you're a good bus driver, you can say like, this is the stop that's coming up in like 3 blocks. All right, this is the stop, and we're at the stop. String
For sure.
section, get off, please. Thank you.
And you leave the little string on the side of the bus so they think that they're pulling it, and they think they're the ones that stopped the bus.
Exactly.
They're not.
They're not. But you want to give them that illusion because
Oh, yeah.
everybody really just wants the illusion of choice and control in their own lives. And this really goes to the same thing about musicians. And
man.
turns out it's just the drummer every time.